December 18th, 1975. A cold winter wind swept across a quiet neighborhood in Amityville, New York. Christmas was only days away. Families were decorating their homes. Children were counting down the days until Christmas morning. And on Ocean Avenue, a family was moving into what seemed like the perfect house. Large rooms, a beautiful waterfront view, a price that seemed almost too good to be true. But there was a reason the house was so cheap. Just 13 months earlier, 6 members of the DeFeo family had been murdered inside those walls, shot in their beds during the early morning hours. The crime shocked America. Most people wouldn't have considered living there. But George and Kathy Lutz believed the tragedy belonged to the past. They were wrong, because according to the family, what happened over the next 28 days would become one of the most famous horror stories in American history. George Lutz stood in the driveway staring at the house. The cold air stung his face. The home looked peaceful, beautiful even. Nothing about it suggested fear. Nothing suggested evil. Nothing suggested that within a month, the family would abandon nearly everything they owned and flee. The movers unloaded furniture. The children ran through the hallways. Everyone seemed excited. But before the family officially settled in, a local priest was invited to bless the house. At first, everything seemed normal. The priest moved from room to room reciting prayers. Then he entered one upstairs bedroom, and according to later accounts, something happened. The room suddenly felt ice cold, far colder than the rest of the house. Then a voice, a low voice, a voice that seemed to come from nowhere. It said only 2 words, "Get out." The priest later claimed he heard it clearly. He left the room immediately. At the time, nobody realized how important that warning would become. The first few days felt normal, mostly, but small things began happening, things easy to dismiss. Doors opening unexpectedly, strange noises late at night, cold spots appearing in certain rooms. George found himself waking up every night around 3:15 a.m., always the same time, night after night. At first, he blamed stress. Moving into a new house wasn't easy, especially a house with such a dark history. But as the days passed, the feeling grew stronger. Something felt wrong. The house no longer felt empty. It felt occupied, as if someone or something was watching. And every morning, George became more exhausted, more distant, more irritable, almost like the house was changing him. As Christmas approached, the atmosphere inside the home became heavier. Visitors reportedly felt uncomfortable. Some refused to stay. Others claimed they felt watched. Then came the unexplained odors. Rooms suddenly filled with strange smells. Then they vanished without explanation. The children reportedly spoke about an unseen presence. One of the daughters claimed to have an imaginary friend, a figure she called Jody. According to later descriptions, Jody appeared in different forms, sometimes as a large pig-like creature, sometimes only as glowing eyes visible outside a window. Whether real or imagined, the stories frightened the adults, and the fear inside the house continued growing. Because by now, the family no longer believed the strange events were isolated incidents. They believed something was happening, something they couldn't understand, something that seemed to become stronger every day. The closer the family moved toward the end of their 28 days, the more intense the experiences reportedly became. Sleep became difficult. Arguments increased. Fear spread throughout the household. George reportedly felt drawn to the same areas of the house again and again, as though something wanted his attention, something wanted him to stay, and according to later accounts, the family eventually reached a breaking point. One night, they gathered together, terrified, exhausted, and convinced they could no longer remain in the house. The next morning, they left. Furniture, belongings, personal items, much of it remained behind. They simply wanted to get away as quickly as possible. The Lutz family lived inside the house for only 28 days. Just 28 days. Yet their story would become one of the most discussed and debated paranormal claims in American history. Books were written. Movies were made. Investigators argued, skeptics challenged the story, believers defended it, and decades later, people still debate what really happened inside that house. Was it fear? Was it imagination? Was it something supernatural? No one can answer with certainty. But one fact remains unchanged. The house on Ocean Avenue became far more than a crime scene. It became a legend, and legends rarely die. Sometimes, they simply wait for the next person willing to walk through the front door.